Creatures of the Night, we are back with another review of AEW Rampage. Now, if I told you that y'all really didn't miss anything, believe me, you really didn't. This was a very mid episode. I don't have too much to say about it, but there were some things that I've definitely observed that I do want to touch base on. Our first match was trios action. We had the Hardys and Mark Briscoe versus Butcher and the Blade and Kip Sapien. Once again, it's one of those situations where we're randomly putting people together for whatever reason. Didn't really like Mark Briscoe being thrown into this, especially after the Continental Classic. I was hoping that all the participants would go on to do better things. I know it's really right after the Continental Classic, so they're pretty much just giving Mark Briscoe something to do. But I really would love to see Mark Briscoe being one of those people in AEW to go back to Ring of Honor to help Ring of Honor get some notoriety over there. Him, Jay Lethal, and a few other people. I do think if they were to go on Ring of Honor, they could definitely help. But it just still felt random with them putting that team together. And then on top of that, we do have Butcher and the Blade, who actually has been, for about a month now, looking pretty strong on Ring of Honor TV. Then they bring them to AEW just to be jobbers once again. It's just really annoying and it's very predictable. You guys already know the Hardys and Mark Briscoe's team end up taking the win. Mark takes the win for his team, end up pinning up Kip Sapien. The match was mid, in my opinion, and sometimes had a few hiccups here and there. But I do recognize here that hey, the Hardys been complaining about not being on TV, not having opportunities, and they're finally giving them something to do, so that's great too. But I just don't like feeling this randomness, this predictable thing about not just Rampage, but about all the shows all together. Like, why you have one team look really, really great on Ring of Honor, then bring them on Rampage to make fools out of them. I don't know. Don't like it. But later on, we do have the Hardys backstage. They're celebrating their win, and Private Party comes out, and pretty much they break up in terms of them working together, being as a team. Obviously, Mark Quinn is back, so they don't really need to have Isaiah Cassidy with them. So the team pretty much have a mutual breakup, and everything's all good. However, the Hardys gift them some t-shirts, and they're like, hey, we know we made your childhood great and all, but we're your adulthood now. Meaning, we'll be seeing you guys soon. And that really made me feel really excited. I'm pretty sure it's going to be some friendly competition between both these teams. And I'd love to see how Mark Quinn is able to perform now that he's better. And him and Isaiah Cassidy going to be doing their thing. And I'm hoping to see bigger and better things with the tag division. I just want to see no more random shit. This doesn't make the show fun. Up next, we have Renee Paquette backstage with Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho. Sammy has a match on Dynamite with Ricky Starks. One-on-one matchup, so we get to see how well these two guys go against each other, which is great for me. They still have that opportunity to go for tag gold against Big Bill and Ricky Starks. Now, here is Chris Jericho talking about, well, you know what, Big Bill? I'm going to be there too, and I'm just going to make sure that you don't get involved, because if you get involved, I'm going to whoop your ass. And I guess I believe him. Whatever. Now, after this, we do have Anna Jay. She's with the whole group of guys that used to be in the Jericho Appreciation Society, whatever they're calling themselves now. Have no clue. She has a match with Hikaru Shida later on, and that also felt random too. But let me just say this. Anna Jay has a way of speaking in front of the camera where it almost seems like she doesn't want to be speaking on camera. I don't know what it is. The presence is not there with her in terms of her looking really comfortable in front of the camera. When she talks, she just kind of talks like a vegetable a little bit, and like she just doesn't want to be there. I don't know. I don't really like the vibe. Now, here comes Harley. What's her name? Harley Cameron? The one that used to be in QTV. She'd go over there and she's telling all the guys in that group that, hey, if you guys ever need anything, I'm here for you. I'm just letting myself be known to you guys. And the whole time that she's kind of offering some type of service to the whole group, she's all trying to rub up on Angelo Parker and everything. I'm like, wait a minute. Isn't Angelo spoken for already? What your crusty fingers doing on him? And I'm thinking, all right, so Rhea got something up her sleeves or whatever. And Angelo seemed to be like, yeah, sure, you know, if we need any help, yeah, we'll take you up on your offer. But then she whispers something in his ear and just him alone. So now I'm wondering, what is going on now with Saraya and Harley? Are they trying to break up Ruby Soho? I bet they are. Up next, we have ladies in tag team action. We have Notorious Mimi and Kennedy Hardcastle already in the ring, and we have Justin Roberts, who is going to announce Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander to the ring. But then Soapy Hathaway cuts him off and said, "Hey, bruh, go sit down, take the night off. I'll take it from here." And then he ends up announcing the girls to come out. But this time, it's actually him reciting a whole poem or whatever, a love poem, talking about how Chris Statlander reminds him of old school R&B music and how she's thicker than a Snicker and all this stuff. But I'm just like, what the hell is going on here? You like her? Like, that's weird. And as soon as he finished saying all these wonderful things about Chris Statlander, then he goes, and her partner, Willow Nightingale. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, he didn't have not one nice thing to say about her at all. Now, this match, absolutely random. It just, I think in my opinion, they just want to show that everything is good in the hood with Willow and Chris Statlander, which I'm pretty sure we all felt like that's the case anyway. And I won't say this is necessarily a squash, but it was not that long, and it was over. Willow takes the win for the team, and Stoltz is cheering for Chris Statlander for winning, but she didn't pin anybody. It was Willow, and he's completely ignoring Willow and whatnot. Now, obviously, when Stoltz comes out, he's always out having a good time. I can appreciate that, but I don't want to feel like I have to watch random matches just so they could tell a little backstory about a little fling that's going on with Stoltz Hathaway that nobody actually wanted. I just want some really great matches that make sense. Now on to our second women's match of the night, Anna Jay versus Hikaru Shida. Now, I was a little excited to see Hikaru Shida because I was like, okay, it's great to see you on Rampage. Let's see what you got. But I'll be honest, this is another thing that's thrown together, and I really felt like, oh God, not to sound like a bitch, but Hikaru Shida just has so much more experience, she's just better in the ring than Anna Jay. Now, remember when Anna Jay got to AEW when she was signed, she only had like less than 10 matches before she was actually signed. And I just feel like sometimes when you're in the ring with certain people, your inexperience show a little bit more. And not just that, earlier I was saying how there's something about her attitude that just does not play well for the camera. And for me, I kind of felt like that fell through in this match as well. I just don't know what it is, but she needs something. Someone needs to be coaching her to have a better presence, in my opinion. And then also, with the inexperienced thing, maybe have her not be in the ring with certain people as she's growing in the company, but she's been there for a little bit of time. That's just to go to show you that, I've said this before, the Jericho Appreciation Society, whatever, they necessarily have not helped that group grow as individuals. And I do think that it's held pretty much everybody in that group back, including Anna Jay. So she really needs some guidance moving forward. I really do believe. Match felt random. Chemistry wasn't all that. And Hikaru Shida takes the win, which is no surprise here. But like I said, I commend her for coming out there and she's doing her thing. She got some new yellow and pink gear that I really do like. It looks great on her. But it has to be more than that. Much, much more than that. Now, after this, we have a little drama backstage. We have our homie, Sanjay, who's back there with Jeff Jarrett, Karen, and Jay Lethal. He is setting up a tag match with Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal to be partners, but they don't announce who their opponent is going to be. Now, Jeff Jarrett's not happy about this because he's like, well, Jay Lethal's been taking nothing but L's. He had the Continental Classic and had 0 wins throughout that whole tournament. And basically, he's calling Jay Lethal a loser. Now, Jay Lethal is like, that's very funny that you would say that because although you've taken a lot of wins since you've been here in AEW, you wouldn't have not taken those wins had it not been for me and everybody else in the group making sure your ass would have won. And I'm just like, you know what, Jay? You preaching right now. He's telling nothing but the truth. Now, Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, they're not happy about this little exchange of words that they're having, and they even get into each other's faces. And I'm watching this and I'm like, good. Very good. I want them to break up. Jay Lethal needs to do his own damn thing since yesterday. And the Continental Classic, we saw a lot of great matches from Jay. However, he took no wins, and something has to change right now. For Jay Lethal has been an amazing wrestler, and I really feel like nothing has really paid off for him since he's been in AEW. We need to change that, Tony Khan. So if he leaves the group, I'm all for it. I think he absolutely needs it. So for our main event and the best match of the night, I think the only one to really worth sitting through, which is Wheeler Yuta versus Commander. The pure title was on the line. Now, I believe this is Commander's first time doing a Pure Rules match, and within the first 2 minutes, both of them ended up using a rope break. But by the time the match was over, Commander used all of his rope breaks. So you're going to get 3 rope breaks per Pure Rules match. Now, something that was very interesting to me is, I've said this a million times, one of the reasons why I love Pure Rule matches is because it kind of forces you to be technical, and which is what I normally see for the most part. But this time, Commander was just like, no, I'm just going to be myself, and I'm going to be fine. And I really like that he stuck to his guns, stuck to his style, and went at it with Wheeler Yuta, and it turned out to be really great. I would have loved to see something a little bit different with him, with his style, if he did make things a little bit more technical with Wheeler Yuta. That would have been really cool to see that side of him in that match, but he didn't take it there. He just stuck to his guns, and it was still a really great performance. Now, you can see that there was a little bit of inexperience when it does come to the Pure Rules. Obviously, you have to remember you can't do certain things, and certain things, if you do, then there's a penalty against you. However, we do have Wheeler Yuta, who I believe uses a closed fist when the referee isn't watching. It seems like the judges saw it. It seems like the announcer saw it, but the camera angle was so bad that you can't really 100% say if it was, but it really looked like that from the poor angle we saw, that obviously he used a closed fist. And since he's, I guess, a heel, if that's what we're doing with BCC right now, that's what he's been doing lately, just trying to do things where he could cheat for his advantage, especially when the referee is not looking. But anyway, the match turned out to be really great. We do have Wheeler Yuta taking the win via submission with a double wrist lock. We do have Commander, who makes it to the ring during that submission, but because he already used all 3 of his rope break, there's nothing the referee can do. All he has to do is just try to withstand it or break out of it for whatever he can, and he could not do that, so he ended up tapping, and Wheeler Yuta obviously retains the title. Really great match. I love what I'm seeing with Wheeler Yuta. I know people just don't like him like that, but in the ring, he has improved tremendously. Like, y'all cannot deny that. Maybe he could use some personality or whatever, but I like him coming out there and just kind of, having that scruffy look with the beard and the hair and everything. And he comes out there and take care of business. He doesn't really have to do anything else. But I do believe that we're seeing a lot of big things with BCC going on right now. You guys see them in New Japan and doing their thing or whatever. Wheeler obviously in the United States with the pure title. But if he really wants to get to that level, he's definitely going to have to make some changes to his character. And he's going to have to speak more for himself. The reason why I really love BCC, for a million reasons, but one thing is that together they're this force to be reckoned with. And at the same time, they're a force to be reckoned with individually, and that I really do love. And I want Wheeler Yuta to really make it at some point in his career at the same level as Claudio, Moxley, and Bryan. And I do think he's on the road to being in the future as successful as the other 3 members in that group. But guys, thanks so much for watching my review. The whole show together wasn't really worth it, but there are some things that I'm seeing here that I'm hoping they're going to keep going with, like the Jay Lethal thing. I want to see him leave that group, and I want to see bigger and better things for the tag division. And Mark Briscoe, give him something really important to do. This guy is supposed to be solidifying himself as a singles competitor. I don't mind the whole trios thing. We obviously know Mark Briscoe said he will never participate in tag team action again. But this man is very talented and should be doing a lot more than what we see him doing in AEW right now. But guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow for Collision. Bye.